niggas dying that ain't never died before. Jesus, why ain't nobody tell his dumb ass to die? The fuck going on? Can't believe it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but I love you, baby girl. Konnichiwa, arigato, date bayo. Yeah, I have to go back to work in a second. Yeah, yo trabajo en el sol, en el verano, trabajo bien, hombre, llega el sol con su puta madre, quema, güey. El sol, the sun burns, but not like you, baby. You're hot as shit, motherfucker, baby girl. No papers, no, nothing. Just good, yes. Porque nadie habla, hijos de su puta madre. ¿Ya las dejé sin palabras o qué? Oh, yeah. Asian. Me gustan las chinitas. Very good. Date bayo. Oh, Sasuke. No. Oh, ramen. Uy. I love ramen. Me mama el ramen. El
I want you to hold this for me. Here, hold this. This Kool-Aid. We put this on bitches like you. You gonna be my bitch. Open that motherfucker up. Lick your lips. Now stick your hand in that Kool-Aid. Just stick it in there. Now take your finger, just do this to the bottom one. Come here. Now I kiss you. You orange flavor mother.
What do you call a Mexican who just lost his car? Carlos.
Pásale, güerita, taquitos bien calientitos.
¿Dónde, perro?
No manches, ese loro sí se la sabe, ¿verdad? Que Dios que sí.
ช่วงนี้เหงาอยากโดนเหล่าอ่ะโบ
Classic niggas, racist niggas, mystery niggas, psycho niggas, dog niggas, Jewish niggas.
You got some motherfucking nerds calling me out Shabbat on some little bullshit ass nigga. Better calm that shit down and come around here and show me some fucking respect before me and my Jewish niggas come up here and be.
And boom, monkeys, welcome back to the Crypto Boogie channel. Shout out to all the people here in the chat, man. Let's see who we got here. But before we do that, man, let's give a shout out to all the people fucking dropping some comments.
Niggas, yo, niggas in the chat. Can I get a fuck yeah from my niggas in the chat? Let's go. Shout out to all the realest niggas in the game. From the OG nigga and the super chat nigga himself. Thank you for the huge.
Boom, monkeys. Now, be advised, the name of this show is Tacos and Kimchi, episode number 46, with my amigo, Mr. Angry Twinksters. What's going on, Twinksters? The world is fucking cold today, bro.
Yeah. We got like 2 feet of snow up here. So it goes with the territory, man. It's part of the fun of living in New England.
Yeah, tell me about it, man. Hence why I'm wearing a fucking hoodie, bro. Now,
yeah. But like, yeah. Your neck of the woods is like, bro, I'm in a t-shirt, like with what you're dealing with.
Yeah, man. I concur. But Twinkie, I would wonder how you would do down here, man, under our extreme heat, man.
I lived in Arizona for a while, outside Phoenix, so I kind of know what I'm in for. Yeah, it kind of depends. Basically, I think cold weather actually isn't that bad, with the exception of 2 cases. Number one is if it's windy, it's really hard to preserve kind of, like that warm air around you. That's why having like windproof clothing helps out a lot. It's not so much the direct raw temperature, unless you're kind of sitting still. The other thing is I generally wear a minimalist shoe. So if you actually look at, like aside from wearing dress shoes or whatever, if I'm like, everyday wear type situation, I'm a big fan of like the old New Balance Minimalist shoes or any other company that makes a minimalist sole. So virtually no padding, no heel to toe drop, as they say, because with most shoes, your heels are above your toes. I wear generally a very flat shoe with virtually no padding, so I can feel the ground. Unfortunately, if you're outside a lot in the winter, that also means like there's no insulation on the bottom of the foot. And so it's like a very thermally conductive in conjunction with the ground. So you bleed a lot of body heat, through your feet. No different than if you're, out in the wilderness, camping, rucking or whatever. You kind of want to layer between yourself and the ground so you just don't evaporate or like, have all your body heat sucked away from you.
Twinkie, when I went to Jungle Warfare Training Center up in Okinawa, bro, oh my fucking goodness, bro. Dude, my feet, dude, they felt like they were swelling inside my fucking combat boots. Now, hence why we got jungle boots and shit like that. But jungle boots are cool. But, dude, they don't provide any ankle support. And the thing is, when you're in the jungle, man, you're going up some steep hills. Because there's steep hills in the jungle as well. Fucking, there's none of that ankle support. Not to mention the moshy, swampy environments you're in sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the downside, too, with like, I don't know. I generally believe like modern footwear gets in the way too much. Like I really dislike thick soles when I can feel myself basically floating above the ground. I hate that shit. Yeah, it just makes it really hard to feel the ground. And some folks do like once a week I go to a parkour class and I practice, like walking on beams and rails and shit like that. And the ability to feel the rail and make micro adjustments, really quick is huge. Whereas like these thicker soled shoes, you don't feel the object.
Yeah, Twinkie, if you had to choose, well, I don't know if you're familiar with this shit, because I mean, you're not a former military guy, but you've had your experiences with being out in the field and shit. I mean, for walking and all that other stuff. Combat or jungle, which one would you rather go with, if you know the difference?
Personally, whatever's got a thinner sole and
jungle, to be a jungle boot guy,
and like temperature, right? Like. And are you standing? Are you moving? I think is part of it. And then, what are you carrying for gear and load? Right? Like, because like if you're, I don't know. I haven't done it yet, but I definitely eyeball and follow a number of backcountry hunters, like backpack guys who go hunt elk, archery hunt elk. And like, what are they wearing for footwear? And elks are not light animals, even when you break them down. So those guys are going to be rucking out hundreds of pounds of meat potentially. What are they wearing? Because they, it might be like 5 miles in a straight line, but like 5 miles as the crow flies, but you're going to have, miles of elevation changes between ups and downs.
Yeah.
So whatever those guys are into, that's what I'm kind of interested in. Actually, some of the guys I follow too, they work with assorted military groups, military teams, tier 1 teams, and like providing textiles, packs, equipment, harnesses, and like, because, some of those guys are out there in hard wilderness 300 plus days a year backpack hunting. So they know what's up. Like they know how to travel light, move across rugged terrain, especially those mountain guys that are out in like the Rockies and whatever. You left Summit and you left and it was freezing, and by midday you're boiling with all the mountain changes.
Look at one of these comments, Twinkie. Twinkie's a ninja, bro. You use that fucking you use that ninja soulware, Twinkie. Know what I'm saying?
It's semi close. I haven't done it in a few years, but I got a video somewhere of me doing like a back tuck, aka like back flip for folks who don't do that, off of an object at a gymnastics facility. So and I'm over 6 feet tall. That shit ain't easy. I'll tell you that.
Man. Yeah, I bet, dude. I bet, bro. I prefer the combat boot over the jungle boot because of the ankle support and shit like that. The only thing that sucks about it, again, as stated, man, your fucking feet feel like they're being swollen, especially when you're going fucking miles on end and shit like that. But I like how robust they are. The only thing about it, man, you rocking motherfucking combats, bro. You're rocking fucking like combat boots. You got to change out them socks, man. Because you get them soft spots on the hot spots under your feet, bro. Start getting a bunch of fucking blisters. It's one thing I learned about the fucking military, dude. When I go to Vegas, bro, and we do a lot of walking, bro, I take a shitload of fucking socks and I change those bitches out, man.
Yeah, I guess like minor, PSA or FYI type thing. I generally wear merino socks, merino wool. Yeah. Stays warm while wet. Also helps with scent and smell. On that, you're probably going to stink a little less if you wear merino wool. Again, that's one of those things I picked up from backpack, backcountry backpack hunters. Yeah. It's basically merino or like merino synthetic blends. And like downside with certain synthetics, as long as you're a little disciplined or whatever, no big deal. But potentially that shit is ultra flammable or melts to your skin.
Oh,
like if you're around fires. Yeah. Whereas merino, you're not going to have that issue.
You got to stop, drop, and roll, Twinkie.
Whip that shit off you.
Yeah, speaking of, man, we got the other beaner here in the chat, man. Shout out to DCC, bro. Hope you're doing good, homie. Hope you're doing good. I think he's going live tonight, man. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him post anything, man. I think there's a crypto mindset course coming up soon.
Yeah, you heard it here first. DCC said it's all going to zero. That's it. Pack it up, boys. It's all over.
Let's acknowledge the people in the chat, Twinksters. We got fucking Sonruku or Sonraku. Let's freaking go. Shout out to you, First Moon Ganger in the chat, man. Then we got Moonpill, Rational Optics, Memes, Fragrance, and TA. What more could you want? You forgot the FA there at Moonpill. You owe Twinkie a shot of vodka next time we link up in Vegas, homie, for forgetting him. You slipping. We locked in for the Ninja Monkeys and Cats Assemble. I hadn't noticed that, man. What else we got here, man? Fucking, who else we got in this bitch, man? Aye, Monkeys, how you doing, bro?
That's good, Karn.
People loving the fucking memes, bro. This nigga dead. What the fuck am I seeing, dude? Well, I'm glad everybody's enjoying the memes. We got somebody special in the chat as well, man. Shout out to you, BLX.
Yeah, what's going on, BLX? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. So Twinkie doesn't height max. Oh, yeah, dude. Dude, I've been noticing that a lot of people fucking I've been noticing a lot of people fucking doggone going the clav route, man. Fucking looks max and all this other fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it is wrong, man. I'm all for fucking aesthetics and shit, Twinkie. I mean, look at the color of my hoodie right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyone who's been around Boogie in person knows Boogie likes colors.
Yeah. And then look what we got here, man. Fucking Charlie decided to drop in all in on silver. LOL. You want to know the funny thing, Charlie? I was talking to your pops last time. I was telling him, dude, I remember when I read Ron Paul's book, bro, and I was a big time fucking Ron Paul yuppie. He was like, no, don't put your money in Bitcoin. It's not worth anything, bro. And my father was literally telling me, and my father's a boomer, Twinkie. He was telling me, Boogie, you need to get some Bitcoin. I'm like, no, Ron Paul said it's stupid. Dude, I fucking hate the fact that I follow Ron Paul, bro, because of that shit. Twinkie, you have any idea how much fucking Bitcoin I'd have right now, man, during that era, bro? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, different story back when, this is probably, 2012, 2013. I remember having a conversation with one of my coworkers at the time about Bitcoin. And I'm like, they're not going to let this thing get any additional velocity. Like, no way, the Treasury and the Fed is going to let this run. And, coulda, woulda, shoulda. It is what it is.
Yeah,
And
man.
other folks have heard this story. Like I bought some ETH, basically bought the top in 2017, and then I was like, all right, just gotta hang on to it at this point. Round trip, I was like, just gotta hang on to it. Wish I bought more. In retrospect, it is what it is. Like, me personally, I guess you learn what works for you, and you figure out kind of what doesn't work for you, and like what you can polish up, what you're going to avoid, or what you're going to concede. Hey, it's unlikely I'll be great at this, so I'm just going to move on and apply my efforts elsewhere, or whatever else is. I think a lot of this stuff is just the cost of tuition, right? And I think and I know people's bags are in various conditions, right? Like you and I were around 21. Other folks may be newer to the crypto space, and they might have bought the proverbial top, right? And they're sitting there kind of wondering what's up. And we know. Shout out to Miguel and Charlie floating through the chat. Like, they teach people, onboard people, show them the ropes, and give them a solid system to not get themselves screwed over. But if I just, kind of speed run all of that, and I'm looking at different aspects of it, is if you lose, let's hypothetically say you bought the top and you sold the bottom, right? Like you just did everything wrong. If you didn't learn anything from that, it's a giant L. If you learn something from it and you're like, hey, these are the mistakes I made, and you try really hard to not make the same mistake twice, then just chalk it up to cost of tuition, cost of education, cost of learning the ropes, and don't make it back. Like, I realized, okay, I'm probably going to lose. Like, there's a good chance I'm going to lose, 4 to 5 figures on the way to my first 6. There's going to be a good chance I'm going to lose 6 figures on the way to my 7. I'm going to lose 7 on my way to 8, right? Like, I look at certain percentages and if you just can't. You have to be able to, I think, stomach those swings to have success. Because the other side is like, you get those runners that have 13 months of green candles or other crazy shit, and it can change a lot of your positioning overnight.
I concur, Twinkie. I can concur, man. And dude, the people that have fucking held strong, bro, since like people like you and I that have been here since 2021, bro, dude, like, we've developed those diamond hands as long as we've been here, dude. And don't get me wrong, we learned our mistakes, bro.
Sure, it's still learning to this day, right?
Yeah, Even though those mistakes can be expensive, bro. The key thing is to keep trucking along, man. Keep pushing fucking forward, bro. Getting used to another bull market, another bear market, and it takes about 2 to 3 sometimes, bro, before you fucking hit the jackpot. Know what I'm saying, Twinkie? But those 2 to 3 times is way better than fucking being poor or just middle class the rest of your fucking life.
Absolutely, right? Like, and you got to take some shots. I'm looking at different things in the way housing's working out, jobs, of course, money supply, credit, all these things we all talk about, and most of us in the space are at least somewhat paying attention to different degrees. You got to take some shots. If you want a 1% life, you got to take some 1% risks and like 1% shots. And I don't mean like, hey, let me just risk 1%, although at times that is definitely the correct move. It is look at what those people did to get where they're at. Don't pay attention to necessarily to what they're doing today, or at least be careful about how you weigh that. Like, Boogie's an ultra successful, firearms guy and crypto guy and YouTube streamer. If you look at what he's doing right now, you may miss, hey, he spent hundreds to thousands of hours studying TA, exploring different systems. He's looked at different means of, like different schools of training in firearms disciplines, different platforms. You can't just look at what somebody's doing today. Look at the effort and the path they traversed to get to where they're at. Some of those things you can probably shortcut, in all honesty, because, hey, we live in the world of the internet and YouTube. But sometimes there's no shortcutting hard work, studying, and repetition.
Yeah, man. I concur. Now, Twinkie, I understand. Dude, I am not the greatest Christian out there. I am not. But, dude, if you go to... you go to Ecclesiastes chapter 11, and the reason I know about this, bro, is because I was doing a study on this, bro. If you want to know how to do investments or what to do with investments, bro, look at Ecclesiastes chapter 11. It even tells you to diversify in that chapter, bro. It tells you not to wait and to quit being scared. But you do have to go through it slowly to understand it. It does cover that. I was surprised, bro, that there was a whole chapter. I mean, the Bible talks a lot about finances, but dude, Ecclesiastes chapter 11, oh my gosh, bro. That is probably the chapter for freaking investing and moving forward, bro, with whatever. Of course, it uses examples like goats and sheep and stuff like that, but nevertheless, going back to that prior statement that I mentioned, I was talking to Charlie's pops, man. I had told him, yeah, man. My father also told me, man, that we should put some dinero in fucking SHIB. And guess what happened, bro? Fucking SHIB shot over the fucking moon. And then a couple weeks ago, my father's like, hey, Boogie, we need to put money in gold. And I'm like, Dad, it's all right. All right. I wrote my dad a check. Here you go for some gold. And lo and behold, man. So my father's been on a fucking roll, at least more than Ron Paul has, if anything, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's hindsight's 2020, right? Like, and the question I would have is, okay, which sort of signs or signals or things that preceded that could you potentially leverage?
Yeah, exactly, bro. And speaking of which,
sometimes it's just a gut feeling, right? Like, and homies, you know, got the right moves and right plays at the right time.
yeah, tell me about it, bro. Well, that stated, Twinkie, I can't wait till there's that rotation from gold to fucking crypto, bro. There's a lot of speculation. That's what occurs. Twinkie. You know what I'm saying?
I know different people have different thoughts, and you know, I've talked about the 50-week moving average previously on this stream, as have plenty of others. Some folks like the 50-week simple moving average, some like the exponential moving average, so SMA versus EMA. I've seen, I think Ben Cowan does like a 50-week band. It's the EMA and the SMA. It doesn't really matter. Like, you kind of start splitting hairs after a certain point. Speaking of splitting hairs, where I'm going with all this is, you know, for me, I've said it on the stream before, my current final structural invalidation line in the sand is around that 74K mark. You know, my purchase prices on the vast majority of things I hold were pretty good. So I've still got some breathing room where other folks may not have that, you know, capability or comfort because maybe they bought higher and they're kind of sitting there, whatever else. I would say, in retrospect, over the last several years, number one thing, if I could go back to 21 and do it all over again, what would I do? Is I would put much more emphasis on capital preservation. I did okay. I did okay. Like, you know, I round tripped a few bags. I had a few bags which ended up working out okay. I've said it before. Phantom saved my ass in early 2022 and helped turn some things around for me. Capital preservation. So let's say you put, I don't know, 10 grand in the market, right? And you're watching it go down to 5 grand. You're sitting there like, fuck, I'm 50% down. What am I doing now? There's a few different ways you can play it. I would look at, what do I think is going to happen? Why do I think that's going to happen? And realistically, when I say what do I think is going to happen, I'm really looking, okay, if I look at different things, do I have a bullish case and do I have a bearish case? If I have a bullish case, then what is my scenario for saying, hey, at this point, I was bullish. This has happened. Therefore, I think I'm wrong. Or I was bearish. This happened. Therefore, I think I'm wrong. And it's actually bullish now. Figure out, give yourself a bull case, a bear case, personal opinion. Come up with some scenarios where my bull case is wrong, my bear case is wrong, and then proceed from there. And if your, you know, thesis, argument, assumption is invalidated, that may be a sign you need to place in the opposite direction. So if you had 10 grand, you're down to 5 grand. Well, that 5 grand could maybe go down to 0, right? Like, so if you could make the read right, hey, I'm going to cut at 5 grand. Or it starts reversing. Let's say, okay, I have 10, I'm down to 5. I want to try to hang on to as much of my 5 as possible. I think it's going to go down more. Therefore, I'm going to pull out most of my capital from the market, throw it back into cash. You know, you look at your holdings and they go down to 2,500 or 1,000. You still believe in them. Great time to buy. Or different scenario. I had 10 grand and went down to 5 grand. I think it's going to go down more. So I'm going to cut out here and move to cash. It goes from 5 grand to 6 grand. Oh shit, it looks like it's going to keep running. Well, you buy back in and sure, it might take more effort for you to recoup or more time. But instead of saying like 100% downside where you go to 0, you're like, oh, you know, I've lost 20%, but I'm still in the game. Yeah. So focus on preserving your available economic firepower and capital.
I think second time around, a lot of people are going to figure that out, man. Well, I'm hoping they figure it out, man.
And you kind of got to figure it out for yourself, right? Because like, the way you ride something out is not going to necessarily be the way I ride something out.
Exactly. I mean, you may have fucking a little bit less pain or a little bit more pain tolerance than others, man. And of course, Travis Haley always said this, man, when I trained with him. The more you know, bro, the more data you have, the more options you have, bro. The more options you have, bro, the better you can be off. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, that's why Charlie and Miguel always try to push you to learn something, man. Either if it's fundamental analysis or technical analysis, bro. it's not a bad idea to learn a little bit about what you're investing in, especially if you got more than anything around 5 figures in. You know what I'm saying, Twinkie?
Yeah, for sure, right? Like you just got to know what's going on with your money to varying degrees, and just got to pay attention.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of Asians do very good in the crypto market, man. But in other aspects, bro, Asians are fucking weird, Twinkie. Let me show you.
Between I think that was Fuentes earlier and that, I'm pretty sure you're cruising for another band.
I know, bro. I know, man. Had to keep the entertainment up a little bit, Twinkie. Shout out to Charlie, man. You have been bestowed with the magical boogie wrench, bro. You are now part of my moderators. Even though I've been commenting on your streams for over fucking 5 years now, I know I rate a wrench, Charlie. We got motherfucking Black Label Expat. These last 4 years have taught me how to be a better Jeet. I concur, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the memes.
We're going to talk about some Jeters tonight.
Yeah,
names will be named.
Twinkie, enough with the chitter chatter, man. Let's move forward, bro. Let's move forward, bro, with what's going on in the market today, bro. Don't forget, cats, I do have the fragrance of the day, man. I will be talking about it momentarily. This is probably one of my favorites. Too bad it's discontinued, man. Ay, bro. Ay. Hi, Twinkie. Let us move forward, man. BTC. Where do we have BTC fucking going, man? Share screen. Is this it? I think this is it, yeah. Let's get our ugly faces out of this shit, Twinkie. Now, if you monkeys understand my hieroglyphics, this is currently the Bitcoin chart, man. Now, at the time being, value is at approximately 88,572, and it seems that we are on approximately doggone fucking 66 days on the 80-day cycle or 70-day cycle. I know, Charlie, you use a different one, man. Shout out to you, bro. I'm guesstimating that we're going to continue in the downtrend, and one of the reasons I sincerely believe that, cats, and I think we may come below this level of about 83, possibly down here to 82. If it gets really fucking froggy, possibly down 78 or 74. Now, if we do run into 70 days, as I had mentioned earlier, bro, that should put us around January 30th. If we do the entire fucking 80 days, estamos hablando de February 9th, ballparking it, man. That gives us enough time to bottom out, bro. It does seem we did make a high here, bro, on January 14th, and it seems we're trending in a downward fashion. Boogie, how do you know that it's going to continue in a downward fashion and we're not pumping back to the upside? Because if you look at the alligator from Mr. Bill Williams, alligator's chomping, and it seems like it's hungry, man, and it seems like we're heading down. Now, one of the things to look at is we got doggone fucking green boxes and yellow boxes overlapping green boxes, and you got a red box over here. The reason I have that there is because these are areas where we did have order blocks and fair value gaps. Now, you will see that if I zoom back here, you see this little red block here? I had guesstimated when Twinkie told me, when do you think we're officially going to drop into a bear market? And I had told him, I think it's going to be around 79 to 78. And the reason I had mentioned that is because you've got these two candles right here supporting each other and these two candles right here supporting each other. But note, that is on the daily. If I put it on the weekly, overall, it comes out to this white line here of about 78. Of course, Twinkie took the farthest way down, and he got the wick at the bottom here at about 79. Or, I'm sorry, 74. I think if we break below 74, yeah, you could pretty much say we're heading into a bear market, man. It does seem we are trending in a downward fashion. I'm expecting for us to finish or start to finish at least the beginning of the end of this 80-day cycle or 70-day cycle, whichever one it is, around the 30th of this month, pushing into the 9th of February. That's when I'm guesstimating. I'm going to start preparing some dinero en mi banco so I could start buying in a little bit of this dip, bro. Some of the tokens I will be purchasing are probably going to be, I'm probably getting a little bit more BTC, man. But you monkeys will see the other tokens that we're going to be covering. Now, mind you, let me put this chart on the weekly so you guys could see what it looks like in a prettier Elliott wave fashion. Share screen. Here it is. And this is the second Bitcoin chart. Let's put the sucker on the weekly. Let's get Twinkies and my ugly face out of here. And let's look at this chart. A la madre. Let's go here to the daily. Take this off. And let me take off all these fucking patterns, put it back on the weekly, and let's look at the 50-week moving average. Now, for you cats that don't know or haven't followed me on this stream, this seems like the area that I'm expecting for us to go back up to if we don't immediately go back down to 74 or 79. I think we do have enough strength to hold up ballpark where we're at least up to 80. And I think we can come back up here to retest this as we come back down to that 74 level. Now, I did have some Elliott waves counted for you cats. Let me see if I can bring them back up, and I'm hoping they don't confuse you. No, I don't have them here. But nevertheless, it's starting to finish up the ABC wave, if anything. And that pretty much covers the fucking Bitcoin chart. Twinkie, did you want to add anything to the movement of Bitcoin?
Yeah, let's pull this one up here. All right, so what are we looking at? This is Bitcoin versus gold. So this is a ratio chart. Some folks have seen me chart a few other ratios and just kind of eyeballing some stuff. And what I'm really interested here is the RSI on the Bitcoin gold ratio, just kind of eyeballing some stuff. Again, looking for different. If Boogie and I look at the same piece of data or same chart or the like, and we come to two different conclusions, there's a conversation we have, and just like, hey, what are you thinking? Why? Well, I think this and why. But in general, I try to look at, okay, if I'm looking at the data, how can I explain this? Can I come up with potentially multiple explanations? Or in this case, I'm looking for other correlations or other patterns, right? Sometimes, past behaviors are often very good predictors of future behaviors on certain things. So, this could just be a correlation, could be a coincidence, or it could be something legitimate. So again, Bitcoin versus gold. I'm looking at the RSI here. I'm on the weekly chart, and Boogie's talked about how sometimes I RoboCop my way into stuff, but I just like to draw certain grids and look for scenarios where perhaps things kind of line up. So let me layer in on this blue line here. This will be the Bitcoin price, right? Which you can see it kind of does follow the overall ratio, but again, Bitcoin versus gold is a ratio, and the blue line here is the actual pure Bitcoin price. So RSI on Bitcoin versus gold bottoms out down here, pretty close to a bottom on the Bitcoin price. If I'm over here, kind of bottoms out around here, again, pretty close to bottom on Bitcoin price. Bottoms out in this zone. Interesting, on the way down to bottom of the price, and you can see kind of down here sitting at this ratio element. What's that sitting at around? Sitting at around 30. So on the lower edge of that, the actual kind of bottom was more around this region here. And so where does that bring us? Way over here today, looks like it's pretty bottomed out on the ratio. So looking purely at the data on this set, it suggests, hey, we might be due for a reversal in Bitcoin versus gold in terms of the ratio, where Bitcoin starts to outpace gold.
That would make sense, Twinkie. I would imagine that they would rotate some of the precious metals into the other fucking gold, which is Bitcoin, the digital gold. I did notice, Twinkie, that fucking DXY, last time I did a stream, it does seem pretty weak right now, bro. And gold and silver continue pumping to the upside, bro. That's usually not a good indicator that fucking our dollar's doing that great. No. I was expecting, Twinkie, silver to get fucking rejected, bro, at fucking $100. That didn't happen. It fucking shot right through it.
So I think there's an element here where silver's been manipulated and people are looking for elements of physical silver. And I think we're going to hear more about this in the coming weeks. This is just me kind of spitballing and speculating a little bit. And for anyone who's really into the metal side of things, I'm certainly all ears. So if you look at that and people potentially are wanting their actual physical assets and not just the IOUs, I question how much of that is actually available for circulation. So if we look at what happened today, gold and silver lost something like around 1.7 to $2 trillion of market cap in under 2 hours. What's Bitcoin sitting at? Like or total crypto sitting at like what, 3 trillion for total market cap?
What is the market cap for that, man? I know the altcoins. Let me see.
Let's see. Global market cap's at around, where is it? Where's the total today? Let's hop over. It's around floating around 3 trillion, right? So like we can call it 50, 60, plus percent of crypto's total market cap vaporized, in the metal side of things in under 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go back and look at this, but from memory, I think the last time I looked at this, basically something like a 10% drop off in gold roughly turned into like a 50. Again, timing wise, it's not saying like money is leaving gold and moving into Bitcoin. I think there's certainly an element of that, but prior timing wise, there's something like 10% drop in the gold market cap worked out to like a doubling of Bitcoin's market cap in relatively tight times.
Yeah. Now, of course, I would expect the bigger institutions to do this, Twinkie. It'd be kind of difficult to fucking pull fucking bars out of your safe and then go find spot for it, then go put the money in the bank, then fucking go switch it over to fucking BTC or any of the altcoins we like. I would imagine that I think the bigger institutions have easier methods of doing it.
I'm sure they've got some like slick tricks and other stuff they can do on that one. And I'm wondering. There's a few different thoughts here. Let me present
Go for it.
Let me pull up another chart here. I'm just going to talk through a few things. And again, I don't know the future. I'm just telling you like, hey, let me like spitball and talk about some stuff here. Let me pull this back up and get some shit out of the way. And cool.
Ready, Twinksters?
Yeah, let me pull this one up again. All right, so we just talked a little bit about Bitcoin, gold, and the ratio, and hey, silver's going up, metals are going up. Side note: if I'm looking ahead to the future, I think copper and uranium are going to be increasingly constricted as people look for more energy, AI data centers. That's like TradFi. It's going to take a while to play out, but that might be worth exploring for certain precious metals. Anyway, when I'm looking at this chart, if we go back to 2022. What's my argument currently for like, hey, I'm on the fence on if like, air quotes, this bull run is over. To me, this looks like a series of higher lows, still technically a higher low.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's fun, pretty or comfortable, and we can look into this a bunch of different ways. I'm saying for me, structurally, it's still a higher low in there. And I don't want to be proven wrong. Number two, in context of NASDAQ, stock market, metals, all continuing to run up to the upside to varying degrees, I'd say the secular bull market is not over. So this is, again, there's what the chart is showing you short to midterms, and there's kind of like the broader backdrop on this. Number three, this is when Boogie and I were talking a little bit off stream on this. I am speculating, this is a long shot one. So like this is the, moonshot, long shot, highly unlikely, but I'm just talking out loud. On this one, if this potentially is the overall like 4-year cycle low here back in November, somebody might argue too, like it could actually be April, but if I'm like looking at overall time and, sometimes I'll like toggle stuff off just to see if there's maybe like less noise in the overall price action on this one.
Yeah, Twinkie, have
so we would be starting. We're already in a new 4-year cycle.
That would be nuts, Twinkie. If we are in a new 4-year cycle, I mean, again, as stated, you have heard me say this time and time again, Twinkie. The TA is saying that we're fucking bearish, but the the fundamental analysis is saying that we're bullish, bro, especially with all the news that's popping up. Now, there's a guy that I follow. His name is Mergin the Trader, bro, and it's similar to the chart you were showing us, Twinkie. And this is what he's talking about. Of course, he's got that giant bear flag, and you can see that circle at the bottom, bro. Last support for bulls. I don't think it's completely the last line for the bulls. You see the wick in the back, Twinkie, at the back end of that bear flag? I think that's at 74 and that 78 area. And above it, you see two candles that are just next to each other. Those are the areas, the main areas of support we have, man. And I think that if everything is bullish and everything continues bullish, and then we should end up pumping to the upside, bro. I mean, there has to, especially if there is a rotation, because people are not trusting in the dollar right now, man. Especially since the fucking, not the DOJ, the fucking Federal Reserve and the Treasury, they got that fucking money printer go burr. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm watching the housing market too, where nothing is really moving.
Yeah, exactly.
And what Trump was at Davos, I'm paraphrasing, saying like, we don't want to make it too easy to build because then it'll crush people's home prices, and then that would negatively impact homeowners, aka asset owners, on that. So he's kind of saying the quiet part out loud a little bit.
Speaking of which, Twinkie, talking about precious metals going up, and we're not going to dive into this, especially because this is a crypto stream, bro. And we've got some shit to cover. You gotta work tomorrow. I gotta work tomorrow, Twinkie. But you look at the shit that's going on in Minnesota, man. I got a gut feeling, man. Cost of ammo is gonna go up, cats. So that may be something you want to buy. Ammo prices do tend to go up during hot situations like this, and it's very rare they ever come back down to fucking normal lows, dude. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So, food for thought, monkeys. Food for thought. Twinkie, I'm going to talk a little bit about fucking digital silver, which is fucking ETH. It's acting like a bag of dicks.
Digital silver, digital oil. Fees are the lowest they've been since what? 2017, I think.
Have they?
Yeah.
That data's on Milk Road, no?
Stand by. It's like a 0.065 Gwei, whatever that works out to. Less than a cent. What is it? 2949 for average. 0.295 is I think current average Gwei for.
So basically, it's fucking cheap to transact on ETH. Super cheap to transact on ETH right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like, what's going to drive the asset value up?
Exactly.
Just questions. Yeah. Roughly speaking, transaction fees on ETH are at all-time lows for L1.
I did notice that. Twinkie. I was transferring some fucking USDC over to my wallet, bro, and I noticed that the fees were very minimal. All right, let's go over to fucking ETH. Not a lot to cover on ETH, man, except that it's not being as aggressive as, or hasn't been as aggressive as BTC. Now, if you monkeys look at this closely, ETH has been in a weird fucking focus on the white numbers, cats. Let's get Twinkies in my face out of here. Focus on the white numbers. I know you got a lot of convolution there, man. You got a lot of fucking blocks and these little orange numbers and all that other Mickey Mouse shit, bro. Let me get rid of these so you guys can see a little bit more clearly. Okay, cool. Now we only got the boxes, bro. Now, you see that we started off here at 0, came back up to 1, shot up to 2. And this is a fucking weird part, bro. For the most part, when you're running Elliott waves, Twinkie, it's very rare. It can happen that on the way up to fucking 3, that you don't cross fucking the top portion of Elliott wave 1. It can happen, but it's not very common. And then we shot back up to 3. How do I know that's 3 and it's not fucking 5? Simple, man. Because the awesome oscillator has that as the highest fucking mound. And then it seems like we're dipping down to 4 because whenever you're utilizing the AO, 4 usually gets a dip to the downside. So that means 5 is still pending. Why do I have this white line here? I'm expecting ETH to break above that, which is 4,900. And we should be coming up anywhere from fucking 6,000 to about 7,000 ballpark in it, bro. That's what I'm expecting ETH to go to. Now, how can that happen if fucking BTC is heading on the way down? Now, mind you, cats, we have not hit that fair value gap, or we have not come close to the fucking 50-week moving average on Bitcoin. I am under the assumption, and this is only theory, that as Bitcoin moves up there in the next couple of 80-day cycles, if it doesn't go all the way down to 74, that when it does travel up there, that's when we should get our pump on ETH. That's what I'm expecting. And from that chart I showed you, monkeys, it seems like ETH has been like manually suppressed, if anything. Of course, I cannot confirm that, bro. I don't do fucking on-chain analytics, bro, or on-chain analysis, but that's what the chart looks like. And that's what it seems like it looks like, man. Like people have been dumping the fuck out of it for various purposes.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it recently. I've been on the road a lot the last couple of weeks for some personal stuff. The last time I looked at it a few weeks back, it was basically Tom Lee was the only guy buying from an institutional perspective.
Yeah.
And then like even Bitwise was slowing down. So institutional pressures were easing up on ETH.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, Twinkie, let's move on to the next token, man. Let's move on to the next token. And of course, let's talk a little bit about fucking. You know more about this token than I do. I charted it out, Twinkie, and it's none other than Psy. You know a little bit more about this than I do. Let me pull up the chart on this bad boy.
Yeah, they had a larger unlock a couple weeks back, creeping up on a couple weeks back on that. But yeah, it's high speed L1 on that. And one of the things that they have is like a decentralized protocol with a built in the protocol is centralized order book management to improve liquidity, reduce transaction fees, and just keep the chain running very smoothly. They're basically gunning for high speed, low drag, high frequency trading on chain. And we'll see how it plays out. Like this is my personal one of my personal dark horse type picks for L1s. We'll see how it works, how well it works on that. I know Sonic was punching or promoting a lot of like speed elements. I was talking with some guys saying like, I think that's a dead end, right? Like, hey, we're a fast chain. We're faster than EVM. We're the fastest. Well, okay, that works for a little while. This is technology, and like, a lot of, not everything certainly, but a lot of the hard stuff in crypto's kind of been figured out. They're just going to look at aspects of Sonic and EVM and what they did to improve performance, and they're just going to replicate it. So you can't hang on to that technical moat for terribly long. So what differentiates Sonic? Okay, I've got canonical USDC on it. The fee monetization side of things, like I would lean into that to entice companies and builders to try to operate on chain. But that Sonic point here, though, is like, say when all said and done with its upgrades will be as fast, if not faster.
Now with Psy Twinkie, it is EVM compatible. Of course, it's an EVM. It's on EVM, right?
Yeah, it's a parallel EVM chain.
Okay. So going back to the chart on this bad boy, man, it seems like it's still got some room to travel to the downside. Let me pull this chart up. Now, if you look at Psy, we did have an inverse Elliott wave on it, man. We came from 0 to 1 to 2, came back down to 3. And you can see that it's that way here on the Awesome Oscillator. Came up to 4, finished up on 5. Now, I was trying to recreate this shit. So, it seems like we did a 0. Let me refix this, Twinkie. So, 1 would be here. So, it seems we did a 0, 1 to 3. But it doesn't look like it's running too damn strong, Twinkie, yet. So, I would bring the 1 down here in this area, and this whole move would possibly be 3, and then we came up to 4, which was kind of truncated, and then we just started dumping into an ABC corrective wave. It seems like it wants to continue to the downside, man. The thing about it, I don't know if there's other charts on this, bro. I'm assuming there is with more data on it, because where we're at, it's just a free fall. There's no fair value gaps here at the bottom. Now, one of the reasons I highlighted these two zones out of about fucking 14 cents to about 15 cents and 23 cents to about 25 cents, these are potential upsides that we can travel to. These are fair value gaps on the weekly, at least what I'm seeing. As far as Bollinger Bands goes on this bad boy, utilizing the daily, you could see that it can come down here to this white portion of the market, and that would put it ballparking at about 8 cents. I'm assuming, Twinksters, that it'll probably sit on this fucking red line over here, bro, and it'll probably wick down to this side and then fucking bounce back up. That's what I'm expecting it to do. I'll probably be DCAing in a little bit, especially when you mentioned that this can be a little bit faster with Sonic. Now, I don't have any FA on Sonic, and I don't know if the team's ever going to fucking recover. But let's see what the data brings, bro. This may be a good Sonic alternative, if anything. Now, mind you, people look at the chart and say, hey, it's just all the way down. But yeah, man, that's when you want to fucking pick this shit up. I wonder how they do on market.
That's the risk, right? Like it's a newer project. They've got ongoing upgrades. So there's a couple different elements from a technological perspective. Like you hear a lot of places quote transactions per second, which doesn't mean much. And like different transactions can process at different rates. And there's time to finality, or how quickly it's finally booked to the chain. Currently, Psi is similar with it's on the dance floor of Sonic. After next round of upgrades, it'll probably be almost twice as fast for time to finality booking on chain. I think Sonic still probably holds an edge in total transactions per second, but it's going to be quick. It's going to have better order book liquidity management, and it's going to be as fast or faster, like on paper, about twice as fast for booking final record hard coded to the blockchain on that. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, you can get on Coinbase.
So that's a badass thing, especially if it's at a fucking fabulous discount right now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how it stacks up currently with Circle's holdings, but like the way it originally kind of popped up on my radar is I was eyeballing what Circle was holding at the time they filed their IPO, and this was their 4th largest holding according to their filing documents.
Okay.
There's like other stuff. And you can always kind of find like bullish and like bearish narratives, but for example, Bhutan, the country of Bhutan, who kind of came up out of nowhere and like, oh yeah, we've been quietly mining Bitcoin for years. We've got billions of dollars of Bitcoin. I knew them from the archery world. Their sovereign wealth fund is setting up say validators.
Really?
Yes. So like enough players and enough big boys are still like kicking some tires on that. So we'll see. Ultimately, if Bitcoin goes tits up and ETH goes tits up and like the market goes to shit, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you'll have some opportunities to find some contrarian plays and the like, but in general, everything is just going to slide.
I'll probably, because I mean, we are in a volatile place, Twinkie, and I wouldn't want to fucking just like buy right now and catch a fucking falling knife. I think what I'm going to probably end up doing, I'm going to DCA gradually into Bitcoin, set up 2 different wallets, and then use those fucking wallets to DCA into Psi.
Yeah. Or you just wait for the right side of the V to appear.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the other thing we can do. Boogie and I were talking the other night. We swap a lot of notes and a lot of ideas, and like, all right, I'm kind of eyeballing this TradFi guy, and he thinks like this, and what do you think? And it's not even about the crypto market. Sometimes it's like mindset or approach to analysis, investing and trading, because like so Boogie's obviously into the Williams system and like potentially you can take that system and apply it to a different asset or commodities, or take your pick on it, right? And then you might need some tweaking on it, but in general, like that's kind of a portable, transferable system. So I was looking at this dude Lance B, who is going to be on whatever the next round of Market Wizards is, and this guy's got a publicly verifiable $100 million profits in trading. So I'm very interested in what the man has to say. And he was saying like he's like, one of the things is like, he's like, I made millions of dollars in one trade. It was my best trade ever. He's like, in general, the success of my career was I just waited for the right side of the V. That's it. Wait for it to reverse, play the right side of the V. So like,
you got to keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like, what's the benefit of doing that? Well, potentially you're awaiting, some aspect of like confirmed momentum, higher probability setup. What's the trade-off? Your gains are likely to be less. So like risk versus reward, and like so many other things in life. Anyway, all right, we're getting out the deep end of like ideas. But point there though is, if you're looking at maybe taking a position on that, you want to build a bag. And side note, I have some money I've allocated to it. Aside from having some stuff on a slow drip feed, basically my bag is packed. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. I'm moving on to the next opportunity.
Yeah. Now,
I'll say like most of my purchases are around the 16-cent mark.
Where's it at? Oh, fuck. I just closed that window, bro.
I think it's floating around like 10 to 11 right now.
Not bad, man. I'll probably get into that token and I'll gradually DCA in, bro, utilizing Bitcoin. That way it's not complete total fucking like an ass kicking. I mean, I got to use the Bill Williams system on it too, man. At the time being, I've only really used the Elliott wave on it. Now, we were talking earlier a little bit about Rackham, Twinkie. Since we're mentioning Rackham, let's go over to fucking doggone Pulse Chain See where
Oh.
Pulse is at.
Speaking of Pulse Chain, I got a couple like PSAs here for the community. Number one, if you're a 9mm guy, and I've been one for a while, they changed the aspects of their airdrop work. You got to go now and like claim it every month around the 9th, and there's a 30-day window. I believe if you don't claim it within 30 days, that month is forfeit, and I'd have to defer to the 9mm guys if it goes back into the pool or whatever. So make sure you're claiming your 9mm on that side of things. Also, Tangent. I know Boogie, we've looked at this previously. I'm just kind of sitting on it, waiting for the market to do what it's going to do. AXGT, they upgraded their contract. You just need to swap tokens to get the new tokens. So fly, I'll retweet the thing.
What if you're on fucking not Velodrome? What's the name of the other chain it's on, bro? Arbitrum.
Arbitrum.
Yeah.
You probably I haven't looked in that. I would assume you got to go
Same thing.
Swap it out for the new token.
Yeah, thanks for that fucking data point, man. I'll make sure I do that, bro. I'm still holding on to that AXGT, bro. We just gotta wait for the fucking ETH to pump, bro, so all those other tokens can move alongside with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now going back to fucking Pulse Chain, show you monkeys this chart. That Pulse Chain. Let's get this ugly fucking side here. Now, this is currently where Pulse Chain is at, man. I was looking at the Elliott waves on this, bro. It seems that we did do a 0 to 1, 2, came up to 3, came back down to 4, shot up to 5, and it seems like we're in a huge 0, A, B, C corrective wave, bro. Now, one of the things that I did mention here, or one of the things that I did point out here, man, I'm assuming that this would be the end of the C wave. C wave can continue down past this zone. You know what I'm saying? So areas that I would start DCAing into fucking Pulse Chain, I would probably set a limit order at around this zone here. That is 4 zeros and a 1545. And if this turns out to be a fractal, it's seeming like it's going to turn out to be a fractal. And if anything, it looks like a bullish divergent bar. I would set up another DCA right here for Pulse Chain.
Boogie, you're showing a different chart.
Oh, fuck. My bad. That is Robo. Let me pull that back up. Thanks, Twinkie, for mentioning that, bro. Apologize about that, monkeys. As I was stating earlier, areas that I would probably DCA into Pulse Chain, or I would wait for a little bit of confirmation, I would DCA at about 4 zeros and a 1544, or at about, is that 4 zeros and a 1421? No, I would do like a very light purchase right here, man. And it seems we're pretty close to it. If we do go above that, I would do like, if I had $1,000, I would do $100 right here, not financial advice. And then if we came across this one area up over here, and it is a fractal, by the way, I would probably make a bigger purchase here at about 4 zeros and a 1547. Now, why do I have it set up this way, monkeys? And you're like, Boogie, why the fuck do you have it set up that way? Because if it doesn't go back up there, then you didn't really lose that much. It's always a good idea to go one tick above whenever you get a fractal or an indicator that's going to say you're going to start reversing. And usually the first DCA I do, like the bottom one that I showed you, monkeys, down here in this zone, you want to put a minimal amount, like $100. Then I would DCA a little bit harder when we get up to this zone over here. It's virtually impossible to catch the bottom. You got to be extremely lucky, and at that point in time, you're just guesstimating, if anything. Now, Twinkie, you did have some data on Rackham. You're muted, Twinkie.
I cannot vouch for the legitimacy of the data. I've not gone into a deep dive on all the wallets, blah, 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 blah. And anything presented is neither an endorsement nor criticism, so on and so forth. You know, all the disclaimers apply. Cool.
Got it. You want me to pull that up to you?
Yeah, I didn't make it, brother. And look, you're already in deep on this one, so in for a penny, in for a pound.
All right, pull this up one.
So look into Rackham.com, and somebody else wants to, verify a lot of these addresses and whatever, so be it. But the claim here is that Rackham, or Rackham's, ex-wife's cousin's brother, third best friend twice removed, some entity has extracted roughly $12 million off of Pulse Chain and has an estimated 8.2 remaining.
Damn, bro. 8.2 million. That's it.
That's it. So, been selling out something just about every day.
Oh, man, dude. Twinkie, can you drop that fucking link in the chat, bro?
Yeah. Minimally, it's kind of hilarious. Like, at the very least, it's kind of hilarious. But yeah.
I didn't know he was a Hebrew, bro.
It sounds like he's small hat tribe, but again, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, drop that one in the link, Twinkie. I think, dude, once it gets down to about 4 million, bro, I think that's going to be a good time to DCA, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see how it ultimately, plays out on that one. And then, different look into RH, I think is, where the original idea started. And then somebody may look into Rackham. I'm sure there's a few other things floating around out there. And I want to take a slightly different take on it. Certainly, part one is Pulse Chain. Do you believe in Pulse Chain or not? What I'm going to say here is slightly different take. Let me give somebody else just a different idea on something.
You want me to pull it up, Twinkie?
Yeah, please. So what are we looking at here? This is Hex, and over on Pulse Chain and the like. And so I've got it currently denominated in US dollars. Again, people who are maybe interested in ratios versus L1s, you can, flip some things over here. Let me just make sure it's on logarithmic. So over time, Hex has gained strength against Pulse as you kind of look at this. Because again, in these ratio charts, and virtually everything we work with is a ratio. It's just most of us are looking at the ratio in terms of dollar, right? We're just changing the denominator on this one. When it's up closer to the top of the chart, then the first thing in the pair is the stronger of the two. When it's closer to down here, then the second thing listed in the pair is the stronger of the two, assuming I am toggled to denominate in the second item in the pair versus US dollars. So you can see overall Hex gained strength against Pulse. It certainly given a lot of that back over the last number of weeks, but still up versus Pulse. I'm going to go back to US dollar on this one. And let's hypothetically say I wanted to get 1 million Hex. That's $22.59 at the moment. So if you believe $2,259 for 1 million Hex.
2,000. Oh, that's not bad. Twinkie P Hex, right?
Yeah. Yep. So if you're a believer and that's what you're looking for, hey, certainly looks like a great time to buy. However, look, we got to call a spade a spade. It's very well possible that in relation to the underlying market conditions, this whole thing is going to slide more. So, maybe you're just going to sit there and take a nibble.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I mentioned, bro, like it'd be a good idea to DCA not everything you've got, not the whole fucking bag, bro. That's some good data points right there, homie. I might be having to fucking divert some dinero into or have some dinero on P die, or not P die, but die on fucking Pulse Chain, ready to fucking DCA into some Hex.
Yeah. So there's who knows how it kind of works out as far as available liquid supply. I know Johnny Chaos had a few posts on this. I'd have to go check out his Twitter if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But I believe for non-OA controlled Hex, it's currently at around 100 billion on that.
Yeah.
And so of that 100 billion, how much is actually freely circulating or up for market grabs? I have to really dig into that. But food for thought, it's on my watch list and I'm probably going to nibble on a bit on that. If you feel like, hey, your Hex bags and everything else are, kind of packed up, but you still need some exposure to the Richard Hart ecosystem, or you want to go out there a little further, I see Diamond Hands rolling through the chat. Certainly PTGC is an option as well.
Yeah, I hope that data is correct. I initially heard he came in with 31 million. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So, dude, I might have to DCA into a little bit of fucking Hex. Speaking of fucking Hex, man, and fucking that orange token, man, fragrance of the day, man, is Mugler. Fucking Zest. This shit is fucking amazing, bro. Orange creamsicle. Highly recommend it, but only if we make it in the bull run. Make sure you guys buy all this shit up, bro, if we fucking become fucking crypto millionaires and ETH pumps to the upside, dude, and pulls up our fucking all tokens, dude. Shit is amazing. 10 out of 10, bro. Discontinued. Fuck. You can probably get it on eBay. Right now, it's probably running for about 800 smackaroos, bro, believe it or not. Yeah, fragrance goes up in value too, man. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's like an NFT, right? Of scent, right? Like I guess just to put some stuff in perspective on that. But so it's got to be in demand enough though to go up, right? Like the most primitive supply and demand economics. If there's a finite number of those, it's not in production anymore, and more people want it, then the number is eventually going to go up.
Dude, I've been hearing that the Pokemon fucking card market has been crashing as of late.
Oh, interesting. I don't particularly, follow all aspects of that. I do follow some of the comic book stuff, some like rare vintage graded comics. Every now and then I'll go to a comic like Northeast Comic Con in Boston and like see if I can pick up a few things. I've actually got some really cool artwork elsewhere in the house from Neil Adams and certain famous artists, like some pencil sketches. Like that part's really cool. But there's the whole aspect of grading the cards. Like I know there's been some scandals with shit like this. And it's not necessarily unique to Pokemon cards, but basically if you want top dollar, you kind of got to get them graded by certain institutions. And then the institution that grades it, the like shipping back is based on what they grade it. So if they grade it like a 10 out of 10, you're going to pay top dollar just to get your card back.
That's crazy, bro. I do know the Yakuza was messing around with that shit as well, bro, with Pokemon cards. Yeah. Yakuza was trading fucking Pokemon cards, bro.
Any place there's big money to be made, right? It always attracts those who want, power, finance, and corruption.
Exactly. That pretty much covers it for today, monkeys. Twinkie, you want to drop any other data, man? Where can we find you at?
Yeah, at MrAngryTwinkie. Been out and about for a couple weeks. I had to tend to some personal stuff, but kind of back in the war wagon, back on the horse. So at MrAngryTwinkie on Twitter, Telegram, YouTube. Generally, you're more apt to find me on Telegram and Twitter these days. Certainly, roughly once a week here with my man Boogie. How about yourself, Boogie? Where can the people find you?
You monkeys can find me here, man. US_Crypto_Boogie. Same thing on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram. If you monkeys want to catch me on Rumble, it's just Crypto_Boogie. Be advised, cats. Tacos and KimChi. Of course, I got to talk to my homie here, Twinksters. Maybe moving to Sunday nights. So just be on the standby. Of course, you guys know where to follow us. Do me a favor, monkeys. I see 25 people here in the chat. Make sure you cats like the video, subscribe to the channel, man, especially for the fucking craziest Mexican and Asian memes. We make fun of all kinds of races here, bro.
And follow Boogie on Twitter. So when he announces that this channel has been, banned and he's got to start another one, you know where to find him.
Hopefully YouTube doesn't catch that, bro.
Somebody somewhere is going to be salty.
All right, cats. Catch you monkeys on the flip side.